pride for his team after following the last rough couple of weeks.
We're proud of our guys. It's been a tough season in general, but I was really proud of them, how they approached this week and the work that they poured in to go push to be better. Like I told them, at the beginning of the week, we do always have the choice of how we respond. Ultimately with every player, I just want them to be able to come out, be their best in the moment. Definitely pleased for the response that we saw even throughout the course of the game. But I thought our guys encouraging to each other, guys, whether it's a good play or a bad play, I thought they maintained focus to go and you'll make the most out of the next one.
It's 74 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time in temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God, this is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
I feel like the way we're going to start the show today, you come out of the weekend, you didn't have your Jaguars to bring you down necessarily. You actually saw something good over the weekend with the hated Tennessee Titans beating the hated Houston Texans. So that had to make you feel a little good. And then you watched the Red Zone with joy, knowing the second straight week Jacksonville would not be on the Red Zone channel. But I think we should start XL Primetime on a Mokama Beer Company Monday. Would you guys mind standing up real quick? Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, if you don't, so just so the YouTube audience can see this, and I think all we're going to do right now is bow to Billy Napier.
Wow.
Will you do that? Just bow.
I don't know if I'm a bow, but I'm
Come on, Leon.
I'm not bound.
I'll
Come on,
apologize.
Come on.
Never a cane bowing to a Florida Gator. Never.
That ain't happening,
Nah,
huh?
not happening.
That's not happening.
Somebody might see that.
All right, listen.
I don't think we need to apologize. I think we just need to recognize. That's all.
Well, I mean, listen, when I saw the brutal schedule before the season started and I looked at the month of November, I did not see a win in the month of November. And Billy Ball is 500 right now.
Yeah, here's my thing. It's
The
not
gauntlet.
really. It's not really apologizing. It's look.
He's doing his job.
What happened is what happened the first 20, 35 games of his career or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
What happened is what happened. So I don't think we need to apologize about anything. I think you need to recognize that he fixed it.
Yeah.
And I think it's impressive what they've done. No doubt about it.
And these are, I would think, moments that Billy was looking for a long time ago. A little recognition, a little appreciation, all that stuff. Well, look, he's put hard work in, and he now is starting to show the fruits of his labor to the fan base, to the alumni, to the faithful that have been given money and all that type of stuff. So anyway, it was a big, big win for him. A bunch of things happened on Saturday that we are going to tear into today. The college football playoff picture is as muddy as mud. Because you just don't know what happened. And what do you always look for on Saturdays?
Carnage. Chaos. I'm Bane. That's what I was looking for.
And you got
All
it because
matters.
little did we know Texas A&M would go to overtime against Aubie, War Eagle. They were able to get it done. Little did we know Alabama was going to go into Norman, Oklahoma, and all of a sudden Jalen Milroe would look like a pumpkin at midnight, and Brent Venables would have a defense that would absolutely tame an SEC juggernaut that had just walked back into the college football playoff picture with their most recent win against LSU. And you can go on and on and on with what happened. Ohio State sent a major message, but Colorado loses, BYU loses. Dude, it was everywhere on Saturday. I loved it.
This is what I've been talking about all along, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've been telling you guys, that it's the 12-team format just adds pressure every week in November. It not only does it add pressure, it creates new heroes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It creates teams that want to stop somebody or want to do X, Y, and Z for this coach or that player. Florida was playing for Billy Napier, no doubt. They also wanted to stick it to Princely Umamielen, too.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on in that game. They played really well. Here's another thing, too, we got to get. And I'm going to turn it back to Florida real quick because I think we're going to go back and do the autopsy of this thing. Like if Florida next year, takes another big step, maybe even gets to the playoff, I think we're going to get back to way back early this season when a couple of those players walked in his office and said, this defense ain't working. We either make it simple or we're going to lose.
Yeah, I don't
Because
think
that's what's good with this team right now. Leon, that defense flies around.
It does. It plays hard. And another impressive thing I noticed about the team is that they don't flinch. They just go about their business and take care of it. Lagway, I mean, the poise with this cat, where people all on. I mean, you're talking about defensive tackles just grabbing on him. He's still making the necessary throws. They're running the football well. They're executing at a high level. And they're playing for Billy. Whether you want to believe it or not, those kids play hard and physical, and they don't flinch. Ole Miss will go score, we'll come back and score.
Yeah.
We'll keep it close. And then they turn it up a notch. In the fourth quarter, they shut out Ole Miss. And they scored a touchdown to win the game.
And by the way, the number of opportunities that Ole Miss had inside the red zone that they did not come away with points is crazy. And the fact that, 3 times in the red zone, 0 for 3. Now, Trey Harris did have his hands on what would have looked like a catchable ball, one that would have put them up. Who knows whether it would have changed the game or not because of what you guys just said. You have to give Florida credit. Every single time Ole Miss did something, Florida was able to counter it, and then they were able to make their own hay and get in the red zone and score. And the thing is that from a physical point of view, going forward on fourth down, I want to say Ole Miss might have been the most successful team in the nation going forward on fourth down. And now you have different dudes up front for Florida. And like I said it on X, and I'll say it a bunch today. It is. I like the way you put it. Recognize instead of apologize.
Where has Caleb Banks been all year?
Oh my gosh!
The last 3 games, he's just been a beast.
He has been a savage at the line of scrimmage, and that's what you can appreciate. Now it's still a little bit of a mystery that you could go this far along with just kind of a not a hit or miss defense, just a miss defense more often than not.
It's two and a half seasons, man.
Yeah, we're talking historically bad.
Yeah.
And yet they were able to turn the corner. And so this is the crazy thing, Leon. How is it that a team, and it could be the players, and I always like to give Jack Pyburn credit and some of those guys for kind of leading the charge, that they can change on a dime defensively.
Like, think about it. That team you saw in the week 1 just got absolutely embarrassed.
Yeah, they did.
Compare that team 2.5 months later to this team against Ole Miss.
It's night and day. Absolutely, it's night and day.
But like Joe said, how do they flip
I don't know. Maybe they simplify. I mean, maybe they simplified it. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe they cut it short. Maybe they were trying. The kids had to learn too much. I don't know. Early on in the season, and now they've made it simple. And and if you got the athletes,
see ball, get ball.
Yeah, go attack.
Yeah,
and that's what when I see them play. That's what I see.
And there's also very little. You look at the intensity that has been ratcheted up. You look at the effort that is there. I have to give Billy credit for putting this team in the right frame of mind, right position to make plays, and they are making plays. Now think about it. When the vote of confidence came out for Billy from Scott Strickland, the athletics director, that he was going to stick around for next year, they went out and got 100 hung on him by Texas, and you're thinking, oh my God, this is embarrassing. Well, that was minus their quarterback. Then they get DJ Lagway back, and then all of a sudden things start to really click. And that Gator, looks like he is ready to be the leader for that football.
So there's a couple things there. Number one, I think, looking back now, and Scott Strickland, whether he meant to or not, I mean, just brilliant move there, doing it before the Texas week. Because had he not done it then, and they got blown out like that, it would have been, all hell would have been breaking loose. So he basically said, I don't care. I know we're going to get blown out. I got to protect this guy because I think we can win these 2 games. And for all you know, for all we know, Billy said to him, look, we're going to have to play a backup against Texas. We're going to get killed. But I'm telling you right now, with the guy at quarterback, with Lagway, we can beat these 2 teams.
Yeah.
So then they kind of came up with this idea, or Scott came up with this idea to kind of protect him. Whatever it was, it's a brilliant move. And I can say this for number 2. They're down 14-7 in that game, Joe. And that play that Lagway made where he's getting pulled down, he makes that third down throw, that's huge. The drive continues. They score. They tie it up. If they get off the field in that third down and Ole Miss gets the ball again, very easily could have been 21-7 at that point.
And those are singular moments in ball games that you look back on, you go, okay, that's where he took a major step. That's where guys got behind him. And also, at the very least, for what you're seeing right now, is a team that's playing complete. They're playing together. They're playing with a plan. These are all the things that that's so easy to say, didn't necessarily happen before.
Yeah, but when you got a dude who's literally been pulled down and he can throw a slant, like 12-yard out, and the one was a 12-yard out, the other one was like a little slant, little little wheel route, circle route to the running back. Yeah. He threw that out, Leon.
I saw it, bro.
He had a DN pulling him down. He throws it out to DK.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And this is not unlike what Cam Ward has done down in Coral Gables.
Yeah.
He has been able to take a team that had a lot of decent pieces, and then he's the guy that's going to pull it all together, and he's going to make play after play after play.
Well, I was a little sad watching the game, to be honest with you, because it was senior day. Realizing he'll be gone next year.
Oh, yeah. He's a one and done for you.
He's a one and done, I know.
Yeah.
So I was a little sad.
By the way, you did have the watch party.
We did. Had a great time. Yeah, a lot of Canes fans came out to the watch party.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, good. I know that they were loving having him out there over in Fleming Island, so good on you for that, which is great. All right, so you guys can jump in, 641-1010. Hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. What shook you? What kind of got you going on Saturday? Because it was already tough to win big football games in November, as Leon can attest.
By the way, they're not flipping recruits.
Yeah.
He flipped another recruit today.
Yeah.
Got a 4-star kid that was going to USC, Southern Cal, a linebacker, flipped him. He's going to Florida now.
Yeah. Oh, look what
so
he's
they're
doing.
using that money that they were going to fire him with, and they're using it for NIL.
Yeah, and so that means it's not like let's make this point right now, because Matt's stuck on Florida right now. I love it. Let's make this point.
It's the news, man. It is.
It is. But let's just make this point. It's not like what Billy's doing is making them all flip. It's the money that goes along with that.
Well, it's winning, too.
Yeah, let's make
You're
that
not making
point.
guys flip, majority of guys, just because of money. Because like I said all the time, the money's essentially the same. Now, they may be able to throw another 10 or 20,000 on.
But repeat what you just said. They took the money that they would have had to pay him to go away.
Yeah, to fire Billy Napier, make him go away.
And
they're using an NIL now.
Yeah, like let's also make this very clear. The university would have to pay the freight if they told Billy to go away. The NIL is a totally separate fund.
Well, the university's not paying the freight. The boosters are paying the freight to make Billy go away. Yeah. And the boosters are paying the NIL fund, basically. Right. So it's the same money. So the whole thing is, all right, well, what's your choice? Is your choice to run this guy because you don't think he can do it, or to throw more money at the NIL because the first two, the underclassmen of this roster, are the best part of the roster? And they've decided to do the latter, and now it's starting to turn. And he's flipping players right now. It's impressive.
In my experience as a player,
we are recognizing it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah,
we're not bowing down to anything. They're
you guys
6 and 5
at the beginning of the show. You did.
Well,
totally did.
They're 6 and 5 for God's sake.
Yeah, they are 6 and 5. They're bowl bound, bro. We didn't see it.
That was parade.
Yeah, we didn't see it. Well, listen. The NIL money is great for these kids, but listen, with my experience as an athlete, no matter how much money you get paid, if you're losing, you're not enjoying it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I was here in Jacksonville when we started off like 1-4, whatever we started off. I was miserable.
Yeah.
I came from a team where we won we eventually turned around. But I'm just saying, money's good, but kids, they watch TV, and if they see that you got a little life about you, the money's going to be there, but they want to win.
And if that 4-star linebacker, I think he's a linebacker, and he's on the East Coast,
and
he's seeing that USC is definitely trending down, and now all of a sudden Florida's trending up, and the money's essentially the same. What do you think he's going to do?
Yeah, well, they gravitate to a winner, just like Leon just said. Let's make this the 10-10 take real quick right now, because we're getting it going. We got to look at the landscape of everything that happened with all the losses, but just stand on Florida for this. 10-10 take. Yeah. There you are. I know you're there.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since 68.
So they're Gator fans growing up in Gainesville with the first Sonny's location there, and they know that if you're wanting to cook up a great tailgate, you can definitely drop on by any one of your area Sonny's here on the First Coast. But this is one thing that we definitely have been steadfast on the entire time DJ Lagway has been wearing an orange and blue uniform, and I felt it to begin with. The players that were coming in on recruiting visits wanted to play with that guy, wanted to watch that guy play. And so seeing him in a uniform on the field making plays is helping bring recruits in, ones that are watching him now, ones that want to follow him. And it was one thing to have Graham Mertz, and that was all fine and good. But this guy represented the future, and that's why I felt like you had to have him on the field as soon as you possibly could. Now, injury to Mertz made it happen 100% instead of just integrating him in the offense. But that is your key to recruiting and having successful classes going forward. So that's the 10-10 take.
This cat, Ty Jackson, the number one inside linebacker on the ESPN Top 300, flipped, left USC, and chose Florida over Ole Miss.
And heck, if he sees what Ventrell Miller did there, somebody like that as an inside linebacker being a star, that would motivate him as well. And heck, what Pop and Piper, those guys have been doing. Piper's on the line, but you get
Miles
my point.
Graham. Miles Graham played well last weekend. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what a couple wins will do. You get a little momentum. You start to play a little better. You clearly see what you've got in Lagway now. I mean, Lagway's a dude. There's no doubt about it. He's a big-time guy that if you put the right guys around him, and that offensive line, I don't know how many of those guys. I don't think any of those guys are going to leave, actually. I think might be one guy, Damian George. But the rest of them, I think, still have another year of eligibility. And I don't think Austin Barber is going to go anywhere. He's not ready yet. So they could bring back basically the same offensive line. You're going to lose DK, but you're going to get Wilson back. You're going to have Mizell. They're going to have weapons for him, I guess is my point.
And you can also point to those.
And Badger will be back.
I was going to say, those two key transfer portal guys, DK and Badger, coming from significant programs, you can throw Mizell in, but those other two right there that have made plays in this uniform has helped him mightily as well. All right, Mocama Beer Company Monday. We are cranking. Let's have fun with you guys. Hang out with us. You can get on YouTube. You can watch the stream, interact there. You can definitely hit the text line, but just let us know what you're thinking. How shook are you after what happened on Saturday, or are you more fired up than ever, including this texter? Gators still suck. Roll damn Tide. Well, let's get into the Crimson Tide and others from Saturday on a Mocama Beer Company Monday.
Even the best teams can lose steam when their best players end up on the sidelines.
In case you haven't noticed, our receiver corps is decimated.
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update.
Jacksonville. It's part of the game, though,
On 1010XL.
Movember is Cancer Awareness Month, so educate yourself on the risk factors for prostate and other cancers. Take charge of your health. Many cancers are highly preventable. Trust the physicians at Ackerman Cancer Center. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
Jags fans, looking for the perfect activity around the holidays? We've got you covered with the inaugural Teal Trot 5K. The race takes place outside Everbank Stadium, Saturday, December 21st. We can't wait to see you there. Your registration includes the 5K, a throwback Jaguars headband, and a ticket to the December 29th game against the Titans. Visit Jaguars.com/Teal Trot to sign up today.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Dailies Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Dailies is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL is the home of Gator Nation and the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. I'm Hacker, and we keep you connected with the University of Florida all year long. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Michelob Ultra PBR Jacksonville at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 22nd and 23rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
Mia here for MyBookie. Another terrific betting weekend in the books, and we have a smash-mouth football game on Monday Night Football. It's the Harbaugh. The Baltimore Ravens travel across country to take on the Chargers. The Birds are 3-point favorites, and the over-under game total 51 points. But we're going back to the Monday well on a same-game parlay here. Nobody can run on the Ravens, and Justin Herbert has a connection with tight end Will Dissly. Give me Herbert over 255 passing yards and Dissly over 40 receiving yards for a same-game parlay bet plus 173. That means on a $100 bet, it returns $273. MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
This is 1010XL's Dylan Denmark. They call me Pockets on the radio, but for my floral needs, I only call Kuhn Flowers. Never take chances when you send a full arrangement. Always use the best in the business, Kuhn Flowers. Kuhn Flowers.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. The Weekend Rewind. Brought to you by Cycles of Jacksonville, the big boy toy store for big boy toys.
Key Andre Lambert-Smith wins it for Auburn.
And now sprints wide left. Thorne looking middle, and what a catch!
Pat Bryant with a 40-yard game winner.
Double A gap blitz. They bring the house. Here's the throw. Hit as he throws. It's caught by Bryant. First down. 15, 10. House call. Touchdown. Pat Bryant from Luke Altmaier on 4th down.
Montrell Johnson with the go-ahead 9-yard rushing touchdown for Florida.
DK in motion. They go Wildcat. Montrell Johnson to the 5. End zone. Gators touchdown.
Ashton Genty with the 61-yard rushing touchdown early in the game.
On 2nd and 7, Genty breaks through, and Genty to the 40. Genty's gone. Ashton Genty, 61 yards. Blink of an eye. Video game numbers.
Caleb Downs returns a punt for 79 years for AOSUTD in the third quarter.
Downs lets it take a bounce, picks it up at the 21, spins out of traffic, up the sideline with room. Here he gallops, cuts it back. Downs, the Alabama transfer here at Ohio State. Touchdown, world famous.
Good stuff all the way around from all the ball we watched on Saturday. Cycles of Jacksonville. If your weekend wasn't nearly as exciting as that, you definitely need to head over on Atlantic near Regency. Check them out with all sorts of great gift ideas for you and for anybody else who wants to get out or on the road. There were just so many good moments in these games. And honestly, I didn't see it from War Eagle. I did not expect it. And A&M still has a chance to play for a championship game. You had all the other ones that took place. Ohio State obviously sent a message. Indiana, hey, they had their moments up early, but then they just could not deal with the Buckeyes. Could not deal with them.
I want to go real quick back to Indiana and Rutgers because it's what I love about college football, okay? So, first off, Illinois scored 23 in the fourth quarter to win that game, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they're down 31-30. It's 4th and 10. They're trying a 58-yard field goal to win it, okay? Set up. Everything's good. And right at the last second, Schiano calls timeout. Schiano calls timeout to ice the kicker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, he's icing the kicker, and Bielema says, screw it. Let's go for it. 4th and 10.
Yeah. That doesn't happen.
Next play, touchdown. That doesn't happen in the NFL.
No.
That does not happen in the NFL.
Actually, it does. Don't even say that. Don't dare. Don't even walk in here and try and compare the NFL to the college game. Don't do it.
Are you telling me 4th and 10 with 2 seconds to go and you go for it and you score a touchdown? That happens in the NFL?
Yeah, there's way too many exciting things that happen in the NFL. I don't even want to debate that. I just want to enjoy what happened. Don't tell me it doesn't.
Your thoughts on that?
I'm going to have to agree with them on that one.
Okay, let me give you one.
Don't happen in the NFL, Joe. People get fired for stuff like that in the NFL.
But it's so funny is that we want to take whatever it is that we've got and say it's better than instead of just.
No, I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying you might see a first down in the NFL saying screw it, let's go for it and get a first down. You don't see a touchdown on 4th and 10.
Well,
number one, you don't see a coach say screw it, let's just go for it.
Well, just as an example, last night Nick Sirianni with the LA Rams reeling, they have a holding call. He decides to accept the penalty. Instead of basically taking the 4th down and forcing them to kick a field goal, he moves them back 10 yards, forces them to go for it, makes a bold decision. They end up getting to Matt Stafford and sack him. Great theater there. You take a look at what the Chicago Bears did. They got jobbed in the end, but they were down by double digits in the fourth quarter, came storming back in that game. Hell yeah, that stuff happens all the time. Just doesn't happen here. Unfortunately, but
not like 4th and 10 touchdown doesn't happen.
Oh my gosh! I just like enjoying what happened. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's kind of my point. It's just everywhere, all over on Saturday. It was everywhere you looked. There were games like that, just one after the other after the other. The catch from Lambert and Auburn, and then the next 2-point conversion. I mean, the Philly special. They did it perfectly. And the kid, the freshman, drops the ball, man.
Yeah,
A&M
trying to keep. And by the way, their season is still alive.
It is. They win and they're in. Yeah.
But let's get to Norman, Oklahoma, and the fact that Jalen Milroe has been one of the more impressive, dynamic players to watch in the college game late last year, this year at times, and then he just regresses. And give Brent Venables and Oklahoma credit. They were billing that as one of the biggest games ever in Norman, if you can imagine that. And where their season's at, they were able to deliver the L to Alabama.
He had 3 interceptions in that game. He looked, I mean, man, was he found out, or was that just a great defensive scheme that they put together against him? Because he got exposed a little bit in that game.
A little bit. I mean, I think Brent Venables is one of the best defensive minds in all levels of football. I don't care what level. He's fantastic. So I think that's part of it. Jalen has struggled on the road. He struggled against Vanderbilt in that loss. He did not play well against Tennessee. He played well against LSU on the road. There's no doubt about that. But he has had problems on the road this year. And I think that whole Alabama team has had problems on the road too. They have not traveled well this year. So that's part and parcel of a new coach, the transition, figuring out things like that. And Leon can speak to this. Things like that, little things like that, where you're on the road, you're traveling, how you set up, how you do walkthroughs in the hotel, whatever you do the day before.
Change your pace. Change your pace. Absolutely. Yeah. Because that's not Nick's team. Nick's team on the road, come on now.
They're not fooling around.
No, so I mean that could be a more comfortable environment on the road, a little lax on the road.
It's a mystery right now.
I mean, because those kids, if you give them an inch, they'll take a yard now. Because that Oklahoma team ran the ball. I don't think the quarterback threw the ball over 20 times in that game.
Well, the one thing is that Kalen DeBoer is also now being seen as a offensive guy as opposed to a guy that can do what you guys are describing. Make sure that you keep them guys present in their moment. If you listen to Nick on College Game Day, he's still coaching that very thought every single Sunday.
I mean, think about this. Think about this. They lost Texas A&M at home. They lost to Ole Miss at home. They lost to Alabama, I'm saying, over the years in Saban. A majority of their big losses were at home.
Yeah, they didn't
lost
go
to
on the
LSU
road
at home
very often.
They didn't lose on the road very often. So I think it's just a different mindset.
Yeah, it is a different mindset, and you got to have the right leadership in the locker room to keep things as stringent. Because if you see, because when Erickson left and when Jimmy left and Erickson came in, we had enough leadership because he was lax on a lot of stuff, meetings and in the weight room and the film room, and a lot of our leaders say, "Hey, listen, we ain't going to change just because Jimmy's gone. You know, we got us a team. We're going to make sure and if you don't have that kind of leadership in the locker room, man, the guys get comfortable and relax. You know, instead of being stringent and tight. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that Nick probably ran a tighter ship for
Oklahoma basically had the ball 10 more minutes, gained about 100 more yards. I'm looking at the numbers. I didn't realize how few yards Alabama had in this game. Jalen Milroe with the 3 turnovers. We know how bad that was, but they just did not control anything. Now there was a phantom flag out there, and I'm sure Crimson Tide fan will point that out. That Ryan Williams catch, did you guys see that? And
it was a bad call, but it's 24-3. They got crushed, and they weren't coming back.
Well, I'm just saying, you never.
It was a bad call. It was a bad call.
Terrible
I totally
call.
agree with you. It was a terrible call.
At what point in the game was that? You know,
third quarter. It was late third
quarter. It would have been a 1-score game.
It was 20. It was still 24-3 at that point.
I was thinking it was 17-3 at that point.
No, it was 24-3.
Okay, because they did jump on them early. You're right about that. But anyway, we all know you don't know is that you could have come back from that. Bottom line is, well, Alabama will be pointing to that. But now they have gone from coming back into the party to getting kicked out of the party in a couple of Saturdays.
I wouldn't say that just yet.
Yeah. Well,
because I don't believe anything anymore right now this season.
So let's get to
this season is a lot like the 2007 season when LSU lost to Arkansas in the last, well, I call it regular season. I don't know what you call it. And then went and won the SEC and got back in the BCS national championship game. Like jumped from I don't know what they were at, 5 or 6 or 7 all the way to 2, and then won it in 2007.
Yeah, not everybody gets to play in that game, so it's definitely not part of the regular season. So let's get to, by the way, hey, Lane, once again, you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to make it to the championship game and whether it's going to hurt you or not, because he was the one kind of vocalizing that more than anybody else. And now you have Georgia locked in. It's either A&M or the Horns. So let's get into that because
it always comes back to bite you in the ass, man, whenever you do that stuff.
Well, yeah, just championship.
Always.
And by the way, I'm still a hotty totty fan. I still love watching what
So
Lane
am I, but
does.
why would he say that?
Yeah. You've never been there. You haven't won it. And so you're going to
They were never there.
Yeah.
They never won the West. They were the only team to not win the West of the original group.
Yeah, but this has now made Championship Saturday that much better and rivalry week all week long on our glorious Thanksgiving week that we will enjoy. Jags will be back on the field practicing as they get ready to welcome the Houston Texans to the bank on Sunday. We'll touch on a couple of notes from them as we get ready for what has been a great race in the AFC and the NFC when it comes to the playoff hunt, and what the Tennessee Titans did to Houston was certainly big. So we'll get into all that. Mokama Beer Company, they bring you today's show. Don't forget, log on mokama.com. You can see that great craft where they serve it, where they sell it. It's right there on the shelves at Total and ABC. You want to pick some up as you plan your holiday.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Attention sports fans, are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the major games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com. Bet anywhere, win here. Only at Best Bet.
The inflation fighter is back and saving you thousands at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Mia here, and right now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, just $500 down and $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. You also get no payments till January 2025. It's all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Post Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 25th, 2019, NFL quarterback Lamar Jackson becomes the first QB in NFL history to throw for 3,000 passing yards and rush for 1,500 yards in his first 2 NFL seasons.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hair4me.com.
I-9 Sports covers the First Coast with great sports for kids 3 to 17, and winter and spring registration is open right now. New girls volleyball and flag at Duval Charter, plus plenty for boys and girls in Nocatee, too. It's all at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
At what temperature is Fahrenheit equal to Celsius?
Southern Oak Insurance knows that you want to save money on your homeowner's insurance. So why not try some old-fashioned common sense? Ask your Southern Oak agent about our roof replacement schedule. It will save you money.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
At 40 degrees below zero, the temperature is the same in Fahrenheit and Celsius. Why? It takes too long to explain.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Visionaries, builders, and doers, are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand-new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson with the latest injury update on quarterback Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor's going to practice today, and then we'll see where it's at from there.
How much do you, is it just based on how much he's able to go throughout the week?
Yeah, it'll just be a toleration thing with him, yeah.
Peterson on the timeline of when he'll make a decision on Trevor's status for Sunday against Houston.
Well, we'll find out today. We'll see where Trevor's at today. Then he's got tomorrow off, come in and get treatment, and, see where he's at on Wednesday, how he feels. He's feeling better today, so that's positive.
Doug Peterson this morning with the latest on Trevor Lawrence. Jags-Texans, Sunday at 1. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room at Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Coffee every day. Great craft Tuesday through Sunday. You could celebrate Thanksgiving if you have family in. You're heading up to Fernandina. You're part of Nassau County, whatever it might be. Or like we said, look for them on the shelves and pick some up. But you will find the beautiful tap room right there on South 8th Street as you're heading into Fernandina, the historic part. And then in Wildlight, they got their satellite locations. Check both of them out. You will definitely love it. Now, we are tearing through some college football storylines today. We definitely will get back into the Jags after they come off the bye week and everything that happened in the NFL with a weekend rewind with them coming up in just a bit. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Leon Searcy, and RJ hanging out with you. I did get a kick out of one of our texters that showed the 3 banners that are hanging. And you think of banners, you think of championships, and they sent the text with the graphic on it, and it's 1996, it's 2006, and then the next one is 2024 for the University of Florida, basically taking 2000 out, replacing it with 2024 and saying University of Florida Gators football. Not bad, all things considered, 8-5. So that's pretty good. That's what they're looking for right now. That's nice. I like that. Because honestly, that's what it was. It was a get rid of Billy season. That's basically what it had become. And we can say, and a lot of people have said on the text line, that these players, once they saw what DJ Lagway represented, then yeah, they wanted to be part of that and be either on the field with him like the Chimray DKs or the Elijah Badgers or whomever right now, but then also those recruits going forward. So that definitely has helped.
Let me tell you something. They beat Florida State, then they beat whoever in the Gator Bowl, and they go and they're 8-5. I mean, you people are not going to like this, but he might get extended.
Mm-hmm. Well,
they might put another year on that deal.
If I'm Billy, I play that way, that hand. I certainly play that hand. But then if he looks at that schedule next year, which is also daunting, but that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to play in big ball games all the time. It's what defines championships, and we'll see whether he can do it. But hell yeah, if you accomplish something, go into your AD's office and say, hey, give me another year. We'll find out.
Hey, listen, I got a Gator Bowl, Florida Gators in Colorado, here in Jacksonville.
Oh, that'd be fun. Now they can't bring the Big 12 in, but that would be awesome.
Oh, they can't bring the Big 12.
No, it's got to be ACC, right?
It's basically SEC, ACC.
Man,
and there was a time when they routed a Big 12 team in here from time to time. It just doesn't happen very often. I have to go back and look and see the last time they did it. But I'm pretty sure it is all SEC, ACC now.
How would you like
that
it?
matchup.
If you guys win and SMU wins, there's a chance it could be Florida Clemson in this game, which would be really cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which would be really cool.
And you have South Carolina and Clemson finishing out.
If South Carolina beats Clemson, that'll push Clemson down another little spot.
Yeah, and so they would fall into that. And there are a couple of other ones that decent stories, but that would be a good one. Look,
there's nothing else in the ACC that's going to matter. I mean, Louisville is
no.
I don't want to see Louisville in the Gator Bowl.
And by the way, Dabo and Duval, he loves Duval, but they can't be happy with what's going on up there. The fact that they haven't been able to get back to where they were, because they just, and he will at some point either relent, give in, and start using the transfer portal.
It might be after this year, unless Miami goes into the barn up there in Syracuse and doesn't do what they should do.
No, we'll take care of business. Don't worry about that. Stay in your yard.
Yeah.
Don't worry about how we cut our grass.
Again, this is just, I think, who knows at this point in this season. I mean, SMU should beat Cal. Cal's not a bad team.
No.
So, and SMU's at home. But again, you're talking about now the pressure's there. Mm-hmm. The pressure is there right now, man. So it's all on SMU right now.
It was already tough in November, and now the screws they just get tighter and tighter with everybody and everybody.
Well, that's what we wanted. We wanted meaningful games in late November, right?
For everybody, not just 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, because you look at everybody that has a chance to get in. Now you're talking about what? A baker's dozen. Mm-hmm. A baker's dozen got more than a baker's dozen has opportunity to get in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, there's still plenty of them that are alive.
Yes, absolutely.
I am laughing though. This is off the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. And you XL Primetimers, you know that we love Seinfeld. And this one text in. This was me watching Lane make Dumas play call after Dumas play call in the home of his next potential employer. And it's a meme of Jerry looking at George when he's on the floor, and you want to be my latex salesman. Just beautiful. And that was it with Lane, because it had to be driving Lane crazy that he could not get the rhythm and flow. And Jackson Dart had the mini meltdown because of the mistakes that he made, and they just could not get it going.
Plus, they dropped. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, pressure. Mm-hmm. They had like 6 drops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
like I said, Harris was an absolute.
Well, Harris got hurt, so he was. Once that happened, that was it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that limited what they could do again. But Watkins wasn't doing anything. He was dropping balls. They had 6 drops. Didn't even use the tight end. Did not even use the tight end. Mm-hmm. So it was weird what happened in that game. All of it was weird. I think players seize up a little bit. I think coaches seize up a little bit when they're that close. I mean, they literally had to beat a Florida team that was still trying to find itself in a bad Mississippi State team when they were in the playoff, and they couldn't beat Florida. And they were as hot as anyone in college football.
It's when he comes back. Exactly. We did our Here Comes the Judge. Who's that one team you don't want to face right now? And Ole Miss was Leon's choice, and they had it. They were leading the nation in sacks. They certainly had done a hell of a lot offensively, but you also have to remember, the teams that they scored most against were out-of-conference teams. When they started in conference, they did have success, but when they went on the road, they had a little less success. And I'll give the Swamp a ton of credit. Environment at night has been electric. Mm-hmm. That environment for a noon kick was pretty dang electric. You got to give them credit for that. That's the atmosphere we mentioned on the plains. And heck, even Nick Saban said this on game day. Something happens when you're in Jordan-Hare and the atmosphere that's created there. And it was pretty obvious that's what happened.
But I just thought of something. Clemson played here last year, right? In the Gator Bowl?
It was either them or South Carolina played. I
thought Clemson played last year in this game, though.
I'm not sure.
All right. Yeah. If they did, they can't play this coming year then. Mm-hmm. I think I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Y'all should make an exception for Deion. I'm telling you, Colorado comes here and plays Florida. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, Clemson beat Kentucky here. So Clemson, it can't be Clemson. So it'll be like Georgia Tech.
And speaking of Kentucky, I used to say Mark Stoops was $1 million a win coach, because he's getting $8-9 million to coach up there in the Bourbon State. It's now like $9 million a win.
They're asking about retirement now too.
He has 1 win in the SEC. And the original NFG and Kentucky Phil he's famously named in sports radio and all the other swillers of brown water. That is not acceptable up there. Even though it's a basketball school, Calipari leaves, and then all of a sudden they can't even have an off season from basketball where they can enjoy some stuff. He's 1-7 in conference play. What do they have? 3 wins? Yeah. 3 wins.
Wow.
Yeah, not good. All right, so go back to what we just said before the break. 3 losses. We thought that would be the cutoff line, and we also thought it was just going to be real tough to say for sure that you deserved to be in the college football playoff with 3 losses. And deserves kind of a funny word to throw around. But in the conference that Ole Miss and Alabama and all these teams are playing in, they're still trying to put up an argument that a 3-loss season is still worthy of playing for a college football.
Well, they're making the exception for the SEC. Anybody else in any other conference has 3 losses, they're doomed.
True. Very true. As an example, Indiana is now having to say they still belong.
Indiana's in.
And they have their first loss. Yeah.
They're in. I think they were in even before all the Corners. I thought they were in, even with the loss to Ohio State.
Well, you're looking at the Big Ten with Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, who barely held off Minnesota. It was a good game. And then Indiana would be their fourth team. And then you have to look and see how many SEC schools are in.
So Indiana having the one loss, what SEC, there's going to be an SEC team that's going to be left out, that's going to have the argument that they played nobody.
Well,
so what team would it be?
Here's the argument. It's going to be Indiana had 80-something yards on their first drive, 79 yards on their first drive, and then they had like 69 or 68 on their gimme last drive of the game when Ohio State didn't care. Right. So they had like 100, and it ends up being like they had like 140-something of their 154 total yards on 2 drives.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the game,
I cared. I was betting second half.
Yeah, so if you're an SEC team, I mean,
savages.
I understand, but all I'm saying is that the committee has clearly shown that they value wins. Mm-hmm. So those 11 wins, all they got to do is beat Purdue, a terrible Purdue team. Mm-hmm. Those 11 wins mean a lot. Now, if something happens and they lose to maybe the worst team in college football, then they're out. Yeah. But I don't think they're out.
Well, but you got to look at the game like boxing. How many punches were you throwing? What's your punch rate ratio? Right. And if you're one of those teams that's out of the SEC, you're saying to yourself, "Listen, we threw more punches than Indiana, and yet we losing by a decision." I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because the SEC. Like I called it, the Fight Club. They
I don't disagree.
They annihilate each other to the point where that should be taken in consideration.
If you get to the point where you're Ole Miss and you're playing as well as anybody, you just beat Georgia by 18 at home. You have a week off. Yeah, and then you go play Florida, and you lose. If that doesn't tell you what that league is like, I don't know what does.
Mm-hmm. Going on the road is not easy at all.
No.
All right, so
the road is brutal in this league.
And if you think about what the Gators defense was able to do and what they had done previous, first half of the season where they were just getting smoked left and right, only 3 points in the last 39 minutes of that ball game. That's the saucy right there. When you think of what they were able to do, they held them to 3 points in the last 39 minutes, picking off Jackson Dart twice.
Saucy nugs.
That's pretty good.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that means you're stepping up and making plays at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
The CFP, when the rankings come out tomorrow night, when we do our XLP to the CFP tomorrow, there's definitely going to be a lot of movement. The Big 12 completely up for grabs. Kansas, with a losing record right now, has picked off 2 of the hotter teams in the Big 12 and in college football in general, beating BYU, knocking them from the ranks of the unbeaten, and then picking off Colorado.
Colorado went from controlling their destiny to they're not going to get there unless something really funky happens.
The other team is Arizona State.
Yeah, Arizona State, they're in. They just got to win.
And so Arizona State just went or BYU went from an unbeaten team to a 2-loss team back-to-back weeks, and Arizona State's playing.
Now, as crazy as it sounds, Arizona State isn't technically winning their in because I think there's got to be like 3 or 4 different things that have to happen, and then they're not in.
Yeah.
Because of some weird tiebreaker.
Okay.
So and they're like weird things. So we can go over it, but it's not really. Well, it's crazy, is what it is.
We'll get into the 3 o'clock hour with our quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson. But like I mentioned, a big search in the break earlier. The NFL had just as much crazy yesterday. The Dallas Cowboys left for dead, beat the Washington Commanders. Washington had a very good chance to win that football game. Missed a couple of extra points. Did not get the job done. Then a walk-off winner for Dallas on the kickoff return. And Mike McCarthy, he's not saving his job, you wouldn't expect, but dealing your rival a huge loss like that. Washington's now dropped 2 of their last 3. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia, what the Eagles are doing, the only thing that might get the reverse jump button off of Madden with Saquon against the Jaguars is what he did last night. He was uber impressive last night. And then take a look at what the Lions have done. On and on and on with all the surprises. The Titans beating the Texans. There were a lot of things that happened yesterday in the National Football League that shook
I'm not sure about that because a Philly fan was at the watering hole and they had the picture of him jumping back.
Gosh, are you kidding?
Already got shirts out on it, bro.
Yeah, Jacksonville will never get off of Madden thanks to that because that reverse jump is one for the ages with Saquon Barkley. All right, quarterback whisper coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. It's XL Primetime.
Sometimes winning and losing comes down to one play. one performance painting, high performance play of the game on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Mia here for MyBookie. Another terrific betting weekend in the books, and we have a smash-mouth football game on Monday Night Football. It's the Hardball. The Baltimore Ravens travel cross country to take on the Chargers. The Birds are 3-point favorites, and the over-under game total 51 points. But we're going back to the Monday well on a same-game parlay here. Nobody can run on the Ravens, and Justin Herbert has a connection with tight end Will Dissly. Give me Herbert over 255 passing yards and Dissly over 40 receiving yards for a same-game parlay bet plus 173. That means on a $100 bet, it returns $273. MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
Who has the best lineup this season? Honda. Cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, hybrids, and electric. This is one of the greatest lineups Honda has ever had. And now is the best time to purchase or lease one. Visit your local Honda dealer now. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC.
The holidays are coming, and so is your family. Is your septic system ready?
Honey, why is the yard bubbling?
Dad, the dog's swimming in the septic tank.
That's one way to greet the in-laws.
Don't let a septic disaster be the highlight of your holiday dinner. Call Duck Duck Rooter today and get it fixed before Uncle Bob finds out the hard way. Duck Duck Rooter, your local septic experts. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Get the latest on the Gators from one of the greatest Gators.
Touchdown, Gators!
Chris Doring joins Dan and Jeff on the drill Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Go Gators!
Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about HardballCreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
This is David Lane. After suffering through several painful injuries to my shoulder, back, and knees, I've taken my issues to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and without fail, they've been a tremendous help toward solving my problems. If you have any orthopedic situations, don't procrastinate. Take action today. Give those aches and pains to the pros at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. You'll be glad you did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. The community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. Take advantage of the Electrical Academy, dedicated to training select students. And the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to American-Electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast, and you can be part of the team. American Electrical, powered by professionalism. Equal opportunity employer.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
You've got a circle of friends, right? Well, how about a circle of beer? All your favorites like Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Mick Ultra, or Natty Light. It's all there in the cold case at Circle K. Probably one right around the corner right now calling your name. Slide on in to a Circle K.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. Proud partner of the Florida Gators.
Greetings from Daytona, where a band of dreamers took a strip of beach and turned it into a proving ground. The Great American Race, where year after year, greatness is the destination.
Drivers, start your engines, let's go!
So book your experience and soak in 500 miles of history and tradition. The Daytona 500, February 16th, 2025. Secure your seats now at Daytona500.com.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. The Georgia Bulldogs secured another win on Saturday, beating UMass 59-21. Despite the victory, head coach Kirby Smart was not pleased with the defense, who allowed 226 total rushing yards to UMass on 40 attempts. Kirby Smart met with the media post-game and spoke on the defensive struggles.
I don't know that it was just tackling. We did not tackle well, but it was more than just tackling. It was, I hate to say it, I just don't think that our guys were ready to play and energized to play as their guys were. Their guys wanted it more than us. And it's very rare that I could sit up here and say that. Like, they were playing harder. They were moving us. They were playing physical. They had some nice RPOs and some nice play designs, but it wasn't about that. It's, I want to, like desire. That's the biggest thing.
It's 74 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
Woke up looking for the broccoli. Hot key, keep a horn on me. That could my seat.
Fired up, ready to go. Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer, in the house.
I want to get back on this because what you do is you take those little jalapeno diced jalapenos,
Yeah.
and just put it right there in the meat, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't that what you're doing with the blue cheese?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
We got to tell
we
everybody
gotta,
what
we
we're
got to
talking
be on.
about.
This is. I'm ready now.
Do it. Totally change
I was a
your
little
life.
unnerved
Come on
by
over.
it, but it's the more Denny's talking about it, and the more Leon starts talking about it. Go ahead, Leon. Explain it.
Well, we were talking about smash burgers, and we was talking about.
And Denny's got him a Blackstone where he's just
Yeah, it's a Blackstone.
Yeah.
Well, you like your smash, and you like the juices of
Yeah,
the burger,
yeah.
and you don't like
Yeah.
it. So I say what you need to do is when you do that burger, right? You put the little blue cheese crumbs inside the burger.
Like you mix it into the ground beef.
Exactly. You mix it in, and then once you cook it, you put the American cheese on top of it. Now you just introduced the jalapenos.
Yeah, I think that's
into it.
clutch.
Now you.
I think that's clutch.
You're
See,
moving.
it's the tartness of the blue, the
Yes.
creaminess of the American, and now you're throwing some heat of jalapeno.
And I just love chopping the jalapenos up and just dropping them on top of there,
Yeah,
and
of
then get just a
course.
little bit of kind of a
Forget
sear on
football, fellas. Like,
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
let's go.
We're talking grub, man.
Yeah.
Well, we Matt will get up. I think actually he'll cook late into tonight with our
late
little
into tonight.
XLP celebration tomorrow. So you may have to come back.
We're
for that,
straight
Matt.
catering for Thanksgiving
Yeah?
every year.
Are you?
Yeah.
You got a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
crowd coming?
We do. We have family lives here, so we host. We love doing it. Hit Copeland's, and we hit a couple other places. Just kind of mix it all up. So yeah, good time, man.
All right. Well, I know that's what it's all about: family and friends with Thanksgiving and a lot of ball. That's for sure. So we got our quarterback whisperer in, and we got to talk college to start. We'll get to the NFL with the Jags being off yesterday in the second seg. Dude, there was so much good ball that took place over the weekend, and it just turned everything upside down again.
Yeah. I was traveling quite a bit this weekend. I was in Cincinnati on Friday night and literally slept in my car at the airport to catch the first flight back to get to Tallahassee because Luke made his first start.
Yeah. Luke Kromanek. Yep.
And then by the time I got back home and I turned on the TV, I'm like, all hell's broken loose. It's a whole different thing.
Hell.
Yeah. And if you look at this thing, man, thank God we got the 12-team playoff.
Because there'd be a lot
That's
of
what
teams.
I was thinking about that earlier today. Like, what 4 are you picking?
Yeah, right now.
It
I
ain't
can
the
tell you
4
this.
best.
I can tell you this. Indiana's not getting in if it's 4.
Oh, of course not.
Not getting
You're,
in,
you're
man.
talking one from each conference.
I don't even know if you're doing that. I
You
think-
may not, but you potentially. All right, so you would say, let's just do it real quick. I would put Miami in over SMU right now. Of course, we don't know what the championship game's going to say, but right now that's the team I would go with.
You're putting them in the final. You're putting them in 4. Like if it was still a 4th
Yeah.
team, I would put Miami anywhere near there.
Okay, again, this is how we look at it. As much as we don't want to acknowledge this,
I'm just going to guess it. Let's
nation
just say
of college football.
Let's just say Notre Dame wins, right, and they go to 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is it would be the Big Ten champion, and if that Big Ten champion becomes Ohio State, then you're going to get Ohio State and Oregon both in. The SEC champion and Notre Dame. That's what it
See,
would
now
be.
you're already factored in because now that other team has a loss.
Yo, we don't have to ever talk about this.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Exactly.
I'm just so thankful
Right,
it's
think
12.
about that. Right.
Yeah, because if it wasn't 12, we would not have the best 4
God,
teams
it
in.
would
No
be
way.
Brutal.
Now, let's just use, and we'll just for another segment or a
Sorry,
minute
bro,
or
you
two.
guys
here.
are out.
Georgia
Boom.
beat
Says
Texas.
you're not a voter.
Okay, Georgia's already locked in their spot for the championship game, but they have more losses.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you would have a hell of a tough decision to make.
Yeah, even now, I mean, we talked about this the last 2 weeks about this championship game scenario, and I get home, I'm like, dadgummit, Georgia's got to play another SEC game. Like, this isn't fair. This is wild. If they win, all is well.
Sure,
It's fantastic.
But if Texas evens up with them, if it is Texas,
And I'm not sure it's going to be Texas. My personal opinion is Texas A&M wins that game.
Okay.
This
Really?
weekend. Yeah.
After that gutting loss?
Yeah. I think so.
I don't know if they can come back from that.
It's at A&M.
I know it is.
This is the
and by the way-
biggest game in the history of A&M's program.
I know, but you know the history of A&M, right?
I understand. I
have none.
I think I think they win this game.
And
But
yours is
regardless,
shoulders.
of that, it's still like you got to get up. You got to play another SEC game after you played the schedule, and if you lose that,
Yep.
you're what Matt you were talking about. Now you're on the road at Penn State, or you're on the road at Ohio State.
That's the problem.
Like,
which we were
that's
laughing.
crazy.
I think this came out. This came out after the rankings on Tuesday night. Georgia would still be a 5. No, what were they?
If
11.
if Georgia got to the
11
championship-
versus 5, they would be a 15-point favorite.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think they'd
if they
probably
lose to
be the
Texas,
favorite.
They'll be like the 11 seed, which means they'll be playing. They'll be playing the 6, so they could be easily be playing.
Okay,
at Notre
11
Dame.
versus 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas wants no part of Georgia. Let me just say that.
No, I agree with
Before
that.
going into the game,
I
against
agree.
Texas, they want
I
no
agree
part
with
of
that.
it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think. I mean, if we're being real here, I think Georgia probably is a favorite in any game moving forward. I don't know who you would
Vegas
Mm-hmm.
favor.
favorite. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
not against. Maybe not against Ohio State. Definitely against Oregon. I would agree with against Oregon, but not
Really?
maybe
You don't
not
think
against
Ohio State? Yeah. And just that alone tells me that, all right, just do what you're supposed to do and be a part of that for that automatic berth and that bye week. And then it's okay. It's like it's okay if you go to the SEC championship, but I don't know, man. I
played
think
so
you got to
poorly
be
on the road.
careful with your schedule moving forward.
But they're not going.
All these teams.
Yeah, they're not going to get rid of this championship game.
I understand that, but you cannot, and I know that this was said years ahead, or maybe it wasn't because the SEC just formed like this, but you just can't play that schedule. You can't play Florida's schedule. You can't play Georgia because
They're
you're not
doing the same
rewarded
thing
for
next
it.
year.
You're not rewarded for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Matt was talking about earlier. He said Indiana's in no matter what.
That's
and
crazy.
I'm saying if you're an SEC team, all right, with 3 losses, and you've gone through that gauntlet of schedule, how do you not have an argument against Indiana, who lay up its way up to Ohio State?
God, I like that layup. It's way up.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, so if
that
Ole
down
Miss plays at Indiana, what's the spread of that?
I would put it at 12, something like that.
Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere like it would be a double-digit number, I believe.
That's just crazy to
What
Well,
is it?
I'll
If
show you
Indiana,
the
if
numbers.
Indiana hosts who?
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be double digit.
Yeah.
Ole Miss would be favored. Probably like 6.5. I bet.
Okay, so you would say
It's like 6.5.
Because I'll show Jenny these numbers.
I
that we
just
had
don't know
from
how
last
you.
week.
I don't know how you plan
It's
for
hard
this
on the
moving
road
forward,
and
man.
deep into December when it's going to be 20 degrees there, man, to make Ole Miss any more than a 6-point favorite.
Just as far as what it was last week, Ole Miss on the road at Indiana would be a 15-point favorite.
Who is that? Who's
This
doing
was
that?
just off of Hard Rock and a couple of other ones that did the futures bet.
15's points.
Well, that was
But
before the
again,
Florida
this was
game,
before
though.
they lost.
No, I know, but I
Yeah.
mean, even back then, I would have said that's a lot of points.
They were considered one of the hottest teams in football.
Really, what we're saying is how good. Are we sure the SEC is that much better? And I say yes. I've been at all these games. I've seen the environments. I know how hard it is to play on the road. But
I think there's 5 teams that can beat Penn State in the SEC, but that's not the point.
Is it not the
is
point?
When it's December 21 and you got to play in State College and it's 20 degrees and there's snow flurries, that's a different animal, man.
Their 12th man is
yes, it's weather. Yes.
Yeah. All right, so
Bro, I know you're shaking your head around, but that is a different deal. You know that as a quarterback.
I just don't. I don't think so. 10 minutes into the game, unless it's like one of these Kansas City situations last year where it was 5 degrees. But I think at 30 degrees, you get 10 plays in the game. Leon, you played in Pittsburgh. You'll know. It might as well be 60 degrees,
even if it's snowing.
Well, I'm not going to lie. 91, we went up to Boston College in December and escaped with our lives.
But was it like super cold?
It was cold. It was rainy. The field conditions.
But a 30 degree day is not a bad football day for a football player. Is
No,
it?
this was more like 15, 20 with rain and sleet and
see, I've been saying to these guys, we have
on turf.
We have crowned college football champions. We have crowned college football champions for decades in domes and in warm weather. And now, for the first time ever, first time ever in big time college football, weather will be introduced as a big factor.
Why don't you look at Ole Miss, see how many times they've played a game in the Midwest?
Yeah.
Or the Northeast.
Right. Okay. Let me ask Leon one more thing. Do you think that guys are more affected by heat or cold when they're not used to it?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what we used to do in Miami. Any of the teams that we play that were northern teams, like your Wisconsin's, Michigan, we would schedule them early, like in September, October. Because, we knew it was going to be, and we always had noon kickoffs.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be gas.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then what we tried to avoid was playing those teams up north in November and December.
My point on this is I think the extremes get the attention, the 10-degree games, the 7-degree games. But I think a 30-degree game for these guys is not a big deal.
By the way, JoJo, you might have missed a decimal point there. Last week in FanDuel, Ole Miss was a 1.5 point favorite.
Man, we got to upgrade that.
And Georgia was a 1.5 point favorite at Penn State.
A little too small there.
It might be. Anyway, one thing I was going to say. Let me just look and make sure I got this right. Got to make sure I got it right before we say that actually
I'm just telling you that Trent just texted that and said last week on FanDuel it was 1.5.
It is 1.5. Yeah.
So when I look at it, I'm like, it looked like it was more than that. That's for sure.
It is.
And by the way,
why do I feel like Cousin Vinny right now where he says, maybe it's time you get those glasses checked?
Well, leave it up. But the other ones, I guess the other ones were the ones that I was looking at. 21 points is what Ohio State would be to BYU
at home. I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah. That's the one I was looking at more than anything
It's just
else.
interesting, man. I don't know. The navigation of the regular season schedule is going to be a ton of talk this offseason.
Yeah. But just take a look at Cleveland and Pittsburgh in the NFL the other night. The weather changed everything. Jameis was a giant in cold weather. And he said, I thank the good Lord I got to play in the snow. And so those
He's
things.
a preacher now, 100%, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. But that's how much it changes. And I'm just telling you, we have not had that in college football.
No, you're right. We haven't. I mean, I don't remember. I remember very few games college football wise with snow. Very few, because it all ends before Thanksgiving,
right?
Or the week of Thanksgiving. Yeah. I mean that's interesting. I haven't thought about that, but I would be down to watch a Penn State snow game.
Yeah,
like see an SEC team in that. That'd be a blast.
I don't think it's going to bother Tennessee because they get enough cold weather and they've played. I think they've actually played Notre Dame when it was snowing once, so it's not. I don't think it's going to bother them. But I think like a Georgia or an Alabama or an Ole Miss or a Florida. Oh heck yeah, heck yes.
Yeah, it's a totally different world. All right, real quick.
Or out to Eugene in December when it's raining and cold. Yeah. Oh, man.
Florida.
That's a good point.
Florida Ole Miss.
Wow.
Jackson Dart got harassed all day.
Yeah.
Into some big mistakes.
I mean, I count me in as a believer right now. I mean, I think you kind of have to be. Now, I don't know. I think there's two sides to this. I think Napier and crew they're showing that they can recruit. They're showing that they can win some big games. But I think there's a big difference in your ceiling being an 8-4 coach and your ceiling being a 10-2, 11-1 coach. I think that's the elite guys, right? But at least now it looks like we're going to find out, can he manage
Can he be that guy, right?
Yeah, can he be that guy? Yeah, I mean, because you got to get to 6 or 7 or 8 before you can get to 9 or 10 or 11, right?
Right.
I think there's such a big difference, and I think in both leagues, in college and NFL, and coaches that can win those games and coaches that can't, and that's what separates them. And at Florida, if you prove you can get to that point but can't get over it, you're not in any better shape than he's in now.
Right.
Like, they're still going to get rid of you if you can't get over that next hump, that 10 games. But if you're a Florida fan, you got to love, and I'm telling you from the inside, from hearing from recruits, you should love what's going on down there, because for the first time in probably, 7 or 8 years, I'm hearing Florida all over the place.
Oh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's because
money.
Yeah, it's because of the dinero, which is but as we have all said, if you keep repeating this, Matt, the money's the same in a lot of places, then something else does matter. Then there is something else that's
momentum helps, of course.
Well, if you get a 5-star guy, if they're thinking straight, they understand there's way more money on Sundays than Saturdays. And so your first decision is where's going to develop me and where's going to showcase my skills.
Better believe it.
And if you don't check that box, then I don't care how much money you have.
Multiple contracts going forward, your earnings potential realized because you get sent off either in a jet or in a biplane.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how it is.
So we started the program here, and I said, like, Joe wanted us to apologize. And I said, I'm not going to apologize.
He did.
I'm just going to recognize for what he's done. Because
did both.
at the end of the day, they're 6-5, man. They're still a 6-5 team.
Yeah, you're getting fired up about what's going to be probably a 7-win team. I get that.
Which is good compared to where they were, yeah.
It's the games they won. It's the fact that they were in Georgia. I think everybody thought that was just going to be a slaughter, right? But they're in that game.
Should have beat Tennessee.
Yeah, the Texas game is concerning to me.
Yeah, but it was
without
DJ.
DJ.
It was a walk-on.
Yeah.
I understand that. But you got to win on the road.
Yale. Yeah.
Like, you got to. But yeah, you have to be excited. There's a reason to be excited. Yes, they've only won 7 games, but man, they're playing good ball, and it's the tentacles of football. They're getting pressure up front. They don't have to blitz, and they're running the ball. And if you can do those two things in the SEC, that's Alabama, that's Georgia, that's how they've made their money.
We've said it over and over, and I've been like banging the drum on this one. I want to see what the product looks like. I now see what the product looks like. Product is good. Product will attract recruits.
Yeah,
because that's when you hang your "we're open" sign, that is the product.
No doubt.
And he has definitely done that more of late. By the way, the only reason you had to apologize is because you had him fired in September. So that's the only reason.
No way, I did not have him fired. What I said
Why
was,
does he have to apologize?
Right.
He's not the one that was losing games.
First off, all I said was the boosters had the money, and they did, and they still do. Now they're using it on the NIL.
Yeah, which is big. All right, we'll keep it going. NFL talk. Our man Denny Thompson, quarterback whisperer, hanging out with us on a Mokama Beer Company Monday.
Let's go. Game day gets here a little quicker with Pregame Friday. Here we go. Who's in, who's out, who's on upset watch.
Exactly.
We'll get you ready for the games.
All right, you ready?
Brought to you by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Joe C. for Roland Reese Plumbing, where quality and experience count. And I can tell you firsthand, they are a great group of individuals making sure they're committed to good work and you get the job done when you need it. Now, Thanksgiving's coming up. Something bad could be happening underneath. You don't even know about it. So if it's a plumbing problem that creeps up at the worst time, just remember, when you got a leak and can't wait a week, call the experts. You can log on, plumbingjacksonville.com. We're talking highly Google rated, and they have been in this community for a long time. Remember, Roland Reese Plumbing.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
This holiday season, let Bono's Catering do the cooking so you can enjoy more time with family and friends. Frank Frangie here. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for 75 years. Holiday catering is available with whole smoked turkeys, country hams, and all the fixings. Be sure to pre-order online at bonosbarbq.com or give us a call at 904-332-7427. Speaking of the holidays, Bono's signature rubs make the perfect gift for all barbecue lovers. Remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Are you ready to upgrade your home? Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renew by Andersen. Energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, save 20% on your entire project. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renew by Andersen, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
If you're getting engaged this holiday season, celebrating an anniversary, birthday, or shopping early for the holidays,
you do not want to miss Beard's Diamonds' incredible 44th anniversary sale.
everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 44% off.
At the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Hurricane season is here, and now's the time to think about a home generator. My friends at Ricketts Electric can make sure your home always has power. They can install the perfect generator for your home and are even offering a 10% discount this month if you mention 1010XL. So call my friend Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960 or find them on Facebook. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them at 320-5960.
Grinding out good grades can be just as challenging as winning games. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Another terrific betting weekend in the books, and we have a smash game tonight on Monday Night Football. Baltimore travels to take on the Chargers. The Ravens are a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 51 points. But we're going back to the Monday well on a same-game parlay here. Nobody can run on the Ravens, and Justin Herbert is sizzling with tight end Will Disley. Give me Herbert over 255 yards passing and Disley over 40 receiving yards for a same-game parlay. Bet plus 173. That means on a $100 bet, it returns $273. MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can just sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
Frank Frangie here. This November, Nimnik Chevrolet is honoring the brave men and women who have served our country. Nimnik is proud to announce a partnership with K9s for Warriors. With every vehicle purchased, you're helping provide highly trained service dogs to military veterans and support the K9s for Warriors mission. And this month, Nimnik Chevrolet is offering $1,000 military appreciation discount on select new Chevrolet models. So who makes your purchase go further for veterans? Nobody but Nimnik. Shop online 24/7 at nimnikchevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barry here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barry Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit BarryOrthopedics.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. The Weekend Rewind. Brought to you by Cycles of Jacksonville, the big boy toy store for big boy toys.
Saquon Barkley with a 72-yard house call.
A 6 yards shy of a career high for rushing yards, and he's got it, and he's got more, and he's gonna go all the way. What a night, what a season, what a player.
David Montgomery making it look easy for Detroit.
Second and goal from the Colts 6. It's Montgomery. Spins to the goal line. Touchdown.
Kobe Bryant takes an interception 69 yards to the house for the Seahawks.
Oh, Murray keeps it. Murray being chased by Witherspoon. Floats for Wilson. Off target to Kobe Bryant. And there goes Kobe Bryant. With a house call for Seattle. And a Marshawn Lynch homage.
Terry McLaurin with an insane touchdown for the Commanders.
Tackle them inbounds. They're made to play in these styles. Now they can just unleash at the quarterback. Half a minute, no timeouts. Daniels throws down the sideline for Terry McLaurin. McLaurin is loose. Lightning strikes twice in Washington.
Josh Jacobs scores his third rushing TD for the Packers.
Jacobs, no shot, barreling forward. Touchdown again, number 3 for Jacobs in Green Bay.
Titans get a safety on C.J. Stroud to seal the game.
Mechie in motion. Stroud back in the end zone. He's got to be careful. It's a safety.
Well, at the very least, C.J. Stroud has taken Dan Orlovsky off the I ran out of the back of the end zone list, at least for now. Orlovsky was on ESPN this morning saying, thank God someone else did it. Now, Orlovsky just ran.
This is still worse.
The white line.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as egregious.
Yeah, he just ran the white line looking for somebody to be open, making it a 101-yard field, whereas C.J. Stroud was facing some Titans pressure.
Yeah, that I can't go there.
He ain't off the hook.
No, absolutely not.
But we had some great games, honestly. Kyler Murray had one of the worst throws he's ever had, and Seattle was able to take that back to the house. And we saw great finishes. Like we said, Dallas being able to beat Washington, not that many people saw that coming. Jaden Daniels, you start to take a look at the productivity that team had in the first 5 games of the year. They looked unstoppable. Remember, Denny? They scored on their first 16, maybe even 17 possessions. That's how good they were. Boy, the NFL is an evener outer, is it?
Even CJ right now.
Yeah.
I mean, CJ, I think we all thought after the first 3 weeks of this year, it's this guy may be first team All-Pro.
Right.
I mean, he's struggled a little bit. It's just, we talk about it every week. It's a hard game. It's a really, really hard game to play. I gutted through watching Caleb yesterday, and he played amazing. Played a great game, and it's just you had to have everything to go right to win.
Yeah.
On Sundays.
They were trailing they basically in the last, minute and a half, 2 minutes of a game, touchdown, 2-point conversion, onside kick, everything, and was in a position. And in Cairo to get it to overtime.
Yeah.
What a great boot.
Just the margins are just so narrow.
Right?
Just so narrow right now. I mean, even you look at the Indy game, and I know a lot of people, it wasn't showing here, but there was a point in that game where they had a tight end drop a touchdown pass.
Yeah, it was on the numbers.
And you just felt it from there. You're like, well, that's the play. Like, they needed to score a touchdown there. It's just the margins are so small. It's just so hard.
What, if anything, should Trevor be focusing on right now, trying to rehab? I don't know how much you as a quarterback whisperer pay attention or know about these injuries. Non-throwing shoulder, but still pain threshold.
Because I come in here, I purposefully know very little. I don't want to lie to y'all. So I know nothing about it at all. So
I'm just curious, generally speaking, not him, but what could he or should he be thinking about doing? Whatever. We're talking about 2-9 club in a hurt wing.
Yeah, I think you should be trying to get out there at this point. There's still a lot of reps left in the season. You can do some things. You're not going to rattle off a bunch of wins, but there are some things that you can learn about yourself, your team, and the teammates moving forward. The one thing about it is it would be easier to do that, I think, if you had a certainty that there was going to be coordination between your play caller in this year and next year. And that's if I'm Trevor's camp, that's what I want to know. Like, am I coming back to this to get reps and learn more about, get better at what I'm going to be doing next year? Or is there going to be mass changes and I'm coming back to this really for just my personal reps?
Well, you would also think that Trevor's camp knows.
I would hope so.
Because Trevor's camp can actually kind of dictate that, correct?
I don't know if they can dictate it, but they should know. Yeah, they should know. I don't think that I don't know. Maybe they do have that kind of power. I don't know.
I mean, if you've just invested $275 million in this guy, you would think he's going to have some kind of say about what.
Well, I'd hope you at least
what
take his
direction
input.
you're going to, right?
Yeah. Do we know what Trevor's thought is on this? Like,
he hasn't said anything.
Right.
He did say we suck one time about, 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago?
Still true.
Still
right?
true.
Still hasn't changed.
Still facts. I mean, then you tell me. I mean, does Trevor need to worry about the perception in the locker room if he's healthy enough to come back and he decides that I'm gonna sit this down? Because I said there's milk that comes with those cookies.
I 1,000% agree with you on that. I think that when you're the leader of a franchise, which makes you the leader of all your city's sports hopes and dreams, they got to know they got a dog in you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think with this, if there was 3 games left, maybe.
Yeah.
But at this point in the season, man, if you can be out there, your boys are out there. You need to be out there.
Yeah, there's 6. There's a half dozen games.
Yeah.
You can call that a third of a season, more than a third of a season. And you, at the very least, you pick off the Texans, you feel better. You beat the Titans, which is certainly not a guarantee. You got a couple of opportunities to beat them. You got Vegas. Minshew gone with a collarbone, so he's out for the season. Anyway, you can stitch together some success to make you feel a little bit better.
Then the only reason why I say that, the perception of, because I know last year when this team was 8-3, you couldn't keep Trevor off the field.
That's right.
Because he was trying to get back to help them win. So now the perception that they're 2-9, you can't get back on the field. I'm just saying, when you're in that training room, when you got the ice bag on, guys going to look at you sideways.
Man, and you know better than anybody, like this next month and a half, going through the holidays and everything else like that. Like, no, it ain't nobody trying to be there at 2-9. And if their superstar is not in there with them, that's not a great look. So I think that's a great point, Leon.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's the best way to say this? Most excited you're looking forward to game-wise as far as the rivalry?
Texas A&M.
Most excited.
Without question.
Yeah,
Texas A&M. I mean, the Auburn players are dropping some heat right now. It's just talking all kind of trash. But Texas A&M, I mean, it's the biggest game in A&M history. Somebody texted me and said it's $1,100 average ticket price right now.
Big oil. Yeah.
That place, I mean, all their hopes and dreams are right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that for them because they have a history of, falling flat in those moments.
Well, they have a history of no history, and that is really what it is.
Since the Bear left,
yeah,
which is 1950 what?
Mm-hmm.
6, something like that.
Since the Junction Boys.
Listen, at some point you got to stop being the little brother.
It's never been set up better for them than right now.
Yeah,
and I think Mike Elko I think he's pretty elite, man. I'm a fan.
Too, but Sark can scheme some ball plays now, man.
But that's a good defensive mind against a good offensive mind.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. All right, Quarterback Whisperer, we thank you, man.
All right.
Denny Thompson hanging out with us. We will hang out until 4 o'clock. You got the Francis Show coming up then. A Mokama Beer Company Monday. We appreciate all of y'all, all of Duval, for hanging out with us.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Show C for the preferred group. We're talking the roofing division, drywall division, builder division, gutter, you name it. They are in the game when it comes to construction, and they're there to take care of you. And we're talking remodels, additions, brand new homes. And I talk to a lot of people in the construction game. It's happening everywhere. And if you don't want to move from your particular zip code, your neighborhood, whatever, you can add to your existing home with a remodel addition and really make it sing for you, that extra area that you always wanted. You can do it. Just log on preferredbuildersjacks.com and do your research and know that quality is going to come with that group of people working. Pick the preferred group.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What?
Huh? I'm so over this."
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Randy Taylor in Jacksonville at 642-2400.
Frank Frangie here. Big Chief Tire makes auto care affordable with 6-month financing with the CFNA card. Plus, get $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. Whether you need new tires, brakes, or general checkup, Big Chief's expert technicians will take care of your car with top-notch service. And with no interest for 6 months, now is the perfect time to handle your vehicle needs. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to apply for your CFNA card today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists, and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
Looking to elevate your game night experience? Look no further than Best Bet. We're not just a card room, we're your destination for excitement, fun, and big wins. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to the game, we have something for everyone. Join us at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine for thrilling tournaments, exciting promotions, and a vibrant atmosphere that will take your game night to the next level. Elevate your game night at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
It's Thanksgiving week, and Monahan Jewelers has the best deals in town with up to 40% off the entire store. Thousands of beautiful pieces are all on sale with fantastic prices on our entire inventory, including up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds. We're your local family jeweler, so come visit us today and on Small Business Saturday for up to 40% off on diamond studs, engagement rings, colored gemstones, our designer brands, custom design, everything. The name you can trust in fine jewelry, Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 25th, 2019, NFL quarterback Lamar Jackson becomes the first QB in NFL history to throw for 3,000 passing yards and rush for 1,500 yards in his first 2 NFL seasons.
If you have a slow-draining sink or toilet that sounds like it's about to back up, imagine the potential plumbing emergency when you have family over for the holidays. Flush after flush after flush. Avoid holiday clogs with a call to DuckDuckRooter today. DuckDuckRooter will come and resolve those plumbing issues so you can enjoy a free-flowing holiday season. Call 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hacker here. A couple weeks back, I received an invite. Not just any invite. It was to be the guest speaker at Awaken 180's virtual town hall. Every team member was there. The owner, Paige, my coach, Kate, and what seemed like 100 people from Awaken 180. My surprise? They invited me to stay for the full town hall. They talked client successes, company goals, future plans, you name it. There was nothing to hide. They all had one common goal of how they can help people better. It was amazing to hear, and it was amazing to see how happy and team-oriented everyone was. I mean, I already knew my coach had that mindset, but I thought I had the best one. Nope, they're all the best ones. That's the beauty of being company-led, not a franchise who often only looks at the bottom line. I suppose that's why Awaken 180 is now celebrating 10 years and has helped over 23,000 clients like me, Mike Dempsey, and Matt Hayes. See it firsthand while you're losing weight with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Why do you choose Farah and Farah? First, we have the financial resources to take on any insurance company, and our track record proves that we know how to win. Our attorneys and staff are a team, and we've worked together for decades. To us, our job is much more than just a paycheck. We love to help. And this is important. We never forget. It's not about us. It's all about you. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Last week, Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson said that everything was on the table in terms of potential changes he could make with the team. Peterson was asked this morning if he had made any decisions.
Yes. Any experiences that you'll share? Nothing that I'll share at this time. And I personally think that, just to be a little bit more clear on that, it's sort of, I say that to say this, that a lot of these are in-house, and these are things that we focus on as a staff and as a team, and I just don't think they need to be in the open right now.
Doug Peterson this morning, courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, my takeaway is I'm already missing college football, okay? I'm already missing it. And I'm not going to lie to you. Having won the 3 national championships at Miami, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to teams that are privy to win the championship. But I love this 12-team playoff. Meaningful games near Thanksgiving. Now, we're talking about more than a baker's dozen are still in it. Mm-hmm. So down the stretch, it's going to be some fireworks. As long as my Canes don't lose, I'm good.
All right, my takeaway is Georgia Tech at Georgia, Michigan at Ohio State, Tennessee at Vanderbilt. Yeah, that's a big game, people. You better believe Tennessee at Vanderbilt's a big game, okay? We got a lot of big games coming up. Then we've got, of course, Florida and Florida State, which is a biggie, of course. Auburn and Alabama. Notre Dame's got to go to USC and win that game to get in the playoff. Miami's got to go to Syracuse and play in the barn. That's going to be a very difficult game for them. Arizona State's got to beat a rival in Arizona. Oregon's got to beat their rival in Washington. There are big games all over the landscape this week. Rivalry week. It's here, baby.
It's beautiful.
And if you can say it 3 times fast, I'll give you $1.
Yeah, it is beautiful. My takeaway is that Oklahoma had many welcome to the SEC moments in their first year in the mighty Southeastern Conference. Well, they just had a welcome back sign out in Norman, Oklahoma to the Kingpin forever in Alabama. Nick Saban would have been going gonzo with that mystery flag that came out that basically robbed them of their chance to come back. But Oklahoma needed it. Texas has been the darling newcomer, and Venables and the boys said, at least we have a little say. Bowl eligible, little say.
That's like the Godfather getting whacked. It is. Alabama is under Nick.
Yeah.
You get beat like that.
It's like Joe Pesci getting whacked in Goodfellas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Didn't even expect it. Walked into the house and bang.
And this happened more than once to Alabama. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, something I know. Ole Miss gave a proper beating. Mm-hmm. And then the same thing with Oklahoma.
Yeah. It's I look at this right now, and this is obviously what we wanted all along, right? I mean, this is what we've all been pointing to, and to me, it's been better than ever. And I don't think we're done with this craziness. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, I don't think so either.
Dan Lanning hasn't beaten Washington in 3 tries. He's 0-3 against Washington. And again, it's not the same Washington team. I get that. But you guys want to talk about bitter rivalries? That rivalry, it's not Alabama-Auburn or Michigan-Ohio State, but you better believe it's Florida-Georgia. It's that kind of intense. Mm-hmm. They hate each other. Texas A&M is... Well, those people, oh my God, that will be a wild atmosphere in College Station.
I do like that A&M has the setting for it. There's an opportunity for them to do something, especially when we talk about this whole newcomer to the SEC. Texas A&M wasn't a long time ago, but they've been part of this conference for a while now, and they still haven't been able to punch a ticket to Atlanta, compete with any consistency when it comes to the championship game or conference championship period. And they do have a chance to basically stave off and stiff arm Longhorn Nation.
Imagine if you're A&M, you've been in this league now for 12 years. Mm-hmm. You almost got it when that magical year with Johnny Manziel. You almost got it in the 2020 COVID year. Imagine when you finally get another shot at Texas for the first time since 2011, okay? In this game, in this moment, and you beat them and keep them from getting into the SEC championship game. How big would that be? It would be the biggest win over Texas probably in that series history, I think.
Yeah, and they haven't met since how far back are we going?
11.
So, okay, 11. So it's been approaching a decade and a half, and the history was so rich with them for so long. For them not to be able to do it, they're going to be amped to the gills down there. There's no doubt about it. And the other one I forgot to mention, the Pac-12 season came and went like that, if you think about it. The Pac-12 season, just like that. Oregon State and Washington State played over the weekend, 41-38, your usual flying over the total, Pac-12 in style, 41-38.
Was it after dark?
Beavs over Wazoo.
Was it a night game?
Go Beavers, yes.
Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah. And so anyway, it was the one and done Pac-12 conference season because those are the only two that are living in that world right now, which is just crazy. All right, I got to mention a little bit of the playoff picture right now as far as how everything goes. Detroit in the National Football League, now the new betting favorite for the Super Bowl because of how red hot they've been. And if you look at it right now, they're the number 1 seed. But what Philadelphia has been doing of late, and they ran over L.A. last night. We all watched it, Leon. They were physical against them. Lines of scrimmage, Jalen Carter, that guy is becoming a one-man wrecking crew right now.
He is, absolutely he is. Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia right now, they're the only team that's in the way as far as Detroit going to the Super Bowl.
That's it.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if both those teams end up in the NFC Championship game, and there's styles and fights. I mean, Philly's going to run it down your throat.
Yeah,
both
will.
I mean, the Rams they're decent, right? Rams, Commanders, Cowboys, Jaguars, Bengals, Giants. They really haven't played anybody. Browns.
Well, it is the National Football League when you say they haven't played
I know,
anybody.
but you know what I mean. Like I don't. The actual test, the Bucs test on the road.
Yeah.
They were beat down in that game.
Yeah,
absolutely beat down in that game. So that's really what I'm looking at, like a test where you're like, all right, let's see what this team is right now. And I don't think they've had one yet.
Well,
doesn't mean they won't get one.
Yeah.
Next week or in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, right? No, they're not. No, they're not going to get one. Actually, that was a preseason one I was looking at.
Well, when you say they don't play anybody, what about?
Wait, they do. They're at Baltimore this week.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to find a lot about the Eagles.
Yeah, we will. Absolutely.
We're going to find
a lot
of
those teams.
about the Eagles.
A lot of those teams that you mentioned, they just haven't lived up to expectations.
And then 2 weeks after that, they got the Steelers. We're going to find a lot about them too.
Yeah.
And if you know what, if they win those games, then you know what?
But Pittsburgh's
hang on. You know what? Yeah. I won't say I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
I'll just recognize.
Yeah. Okay. You should. You should do both. Actually.
Pittsburgh lost to Cleveland, bro.
Yeah.
After what did they do to the
in
Raiders?
the snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it snows in Pittsburgh too.
They all played in it. And by the way, Russell had probably one of his better games throwing the football, but he started to get a little tight in the pocket, and that's the thing that I'm wondering and worried about for him. But you got a 10-1 Lions team, an 8-2 Philadelphia team. You got the other two teams that right now are just barely above 500 that are sitting there in the NFC West picture. Seattle's leading the way because they just beat the Niners. The Niners just got bad news losing Bosa and Purdy, and the Atlanta Falcons are sitting right there. There's Atlanta, we don't even know who they are, yet they're still at the top of the NFC South.
Niners
and then you
might
got
be
wild
done,
card
man.
games. Minnie, Green Bay, and Washington are the teams right now sitting in those wild card spots. Arizona and the Rams on the outside looking in for right now.
Listen, y'all got next time we do picks, man, y'all got to give me an injury report, okay? Because I'm just looking at freaking Allen in the game against the 49ers, and I picked them.
Yeah,
we need an injury report.
That was unexpected.
Yeah.
It really was, as far as both Bosa and Purdy.
By the way, I texted Joe Friday and said we might want to knock that game off because it was a late injury report. But no, he said we got to keep it. So
it's just, I mean,
I'm with you because I lost it too.
But we're not going to change something just because all of a sudden an injury report comes out on a Friday afternoon.
Right, but had we known that 2 hours earlier, we would not have chosen that game. Or if you would have chosen that game, we would have said, "Wait, Brock Purdy's not playing. I'm not taking."
But he wasn't ruled out at that point.
I'll take the L. I'll take the L.
Yeah, honestly,
I'll take it too, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah. Kansas City.
How about that?
Yeah,
10-1. Now that much tighter race there.
Yeah.
Kansas City 10-1 and barely beat Carolina. They were a 10.5-point favorite in that ball game and barely beat them. Buffalo on the come, 9-2. Pittsburgh, I still can't quite figure them out, but they're a damn good running and defensive football team right now, 8-3. The Texans, we don't know who they are, and they're leading the AFC South with a 7-5 record. Who do you like tonight? Ravens, Chargers?
I don't trust the Ravens anymore. I don't after that game against Pittsburgh, where, in the fourth quarter, Henry doesn't get a touch. The whole reason behind it is bringing Derrick Henry there was the reason why they screwed up the AFC championship game, because they didn't run the ball. They got an identity crisis, so now I don't trust them. I love El Boogie, but I don't trust the coordinator.
Yeah, typically I would say it's very difficult to win on the road in the NFL, especially in these Sunday night and Monday night games. But I mean, it's L.A. They don't even. It's not even really a home field advantage for the Chargers. That place.
Well,
so,
they still,
though I do think the Chargers are playing well, and they're really now they have taken on Harbaugh's personality.
Yeah, and they still get a decent crowd there. It's going to be. It might be 50-50, something like that. But at the very least, it was leaning a little bit more on their side. Heck, Rams-Eagles last night, both sides made plays. You heard the crowd go crazy.
Right.
But, yeah, that personality and what Justin Herbert's doing, both of those count. They're balling on both sides of the ball. That's a tough one tonight. It's the line is down to 2.5. So you're saying you're going?
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers in this game.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man.
And going against El Boogie.
I am, bro. I don't trust him in the fourth quarter.
Well, especially what he has experienced and then going on the road. Cross-country trip. We'll just see how they handle it, because they got to feel like, wait a minute, started 0-2, got red hot. Everybody thought we were the team to beat. Now we're facing adversity again, losing to teams we're inside the division we're not supposed to be losing to, and then going out there and meeting this Harbaugh creation, which is basically what it's become. He's got them believing.
He does.
And who was their top drafted wide receivers? At Quentin Jackson, is that right? Anyway, that dude is balling too.
Yeah.
Because LA said goodbye to Mike Williams, to Keenan Allen, to big time weapons in the receiving game, and they went out and they drafted him one. I believe it was that kid out of Washington. Pretty sure. Anyway, really good player. And we'll find out how they play tonight. 2.5-point line right now.
Yeah.
That means it's being bet down.
Justin Herbert, 1 pick all year.
Yeah.
1.
It's pretty
Playing
good.
really well.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it is being bet down because it was either 3 or 3.5, something in that neighborhood, and it's being bet down to 2.5. And sometimes you have to pay attention to that, because that could be maybe an injury.
Plus, they're
concern.
running the ball. The Chargers are running the ball now.
Oh yeah,
and
this is minus Austin Eckler, minus the two big
J.K.
receivers.
Dobbins is like
we just talked about.
Grown man out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and it's not just Dobbins. They definitely have been able to rely on more than one guy coming out of the backfield and making things happen. That's what makes it good, especially this time of the year, finding out which of these teams are going to be able to kind of take it all the way, because September, you probably had an opinion on who you liked and who you thought could go all the way. It changed in October. Now it firms up in November as far as who you like. Because the Lions, I had Lions and Ravens. We'll find out whether the Ravens can keep it going or not. Those other two teams.
They're not real. I'm not believing in them.
Yeah.
I'm not. In the fourth quarter against the Steelers, Derrick Henry gets 0 touches.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be leaving Derrick Henry on the bench tonight if that's the way it's going to shake out.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. Mocama Beer Company Monday. We say thanks to them. Anytime you're looking for some great craft, remember, coffee every day. And then Tuesday through Sunday, you're going to enjoy delicious craft, all their creations. You'll love them, and you'll love the tap room. It's just a really cool place to hang out. And then, of course, they got their Wildlight location and on the shelves at ABC and Total. Check out Mocama. You can log on, mocama.com, and see all the great things that they got cooking up there in the Dina. We are done. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ. You got the Francis Show coming up next.
You guys wouldn't figure it out.
Winners get washed.